All right, guys, I'm just going to take a quick look at gold moving on into New York session. So, incredible move this morning, right? We still currently have no lower wick on this 4-hour candle, right? So just a quick idea of what potentially could happen, right? We've got this previous all-time high, which was taken out. This was CPI, right? And CPI obviously moved up, and then if you remember, we opened up with a 350 or 3,500 pip move in like 3 minutes. But then when price came back down, it sort of rejected this area, and we're looking at an area now of about it's a key level, so it's 2,200, right? We've also, if we got this level here, this is a structural 4-hour, right? So we're kind of if you use the wick or whatever, if you was to create a support level here, it would look something like that, right? So we're actually coming and we're tapping into this area, which means there is potential for it to go down. However, it all depends on what New York want to do, right? London is clearly bought. So let me just run through with you why I didn't get into this trade. So yesterday we had this price action, woke up and we were coming back down into this level, right? It couldn't close below here. Once we got this bullish candle push away, this was basically where I was entering on the passing of this wick, right? And I got a bit of chop, but then eventually my target up here was hit and out the trade. Happy days, way to go. Now, if you look at this morning, we've had very similar kind of price action. My accumulation was set like that, and this candle was about 10 pips away from closing outside. If we'd closed outside, I would have been in this trade. I probably would have been out way before the whole of this move, right? But yeah, it's not to be, it's not my fucking money, so we move on, right? I then wanted to enter here, okay, no lower wick. I wanted to enter here, no lower wick. It's just too dicey around here, right? You can't enter sort of mid-range, but like I've always said, the way I trade, I don't trade this fair value gap bullshit, right? This is clear traffic. This is clear space to trade into. What I've always said to the majority of you whenever we've had calls and chats and helping you out, if you are going to trade away from a level, you need it to be a big level, right? So trading away from a fair value gap here, thin air, you're trading in thin air, right? So first of all, we need some form of structure. So we got this low here, right? We've also got this accumulation, right? And when an accumulation is made, generally when price comes back up to it, it can always, not always, but it can reject and it can move away, right? So it depends what the overall plan is here, right? Are we going to go and break these all-time highs again and keep buying, or are we going to start to retrace and pull back and maybe come down to this level? Maybe we can come back down to this level and form a support and then go long again. So I'm currently looking at the 30-minute time frame, and New York is opening in about 25 minutes. Okay, I'm not going to be rushing into anything because the 4-hour candles are currently lopsided, and we've got a 4-hour close at 1 o'clock, which is the same time as New York Stock Exchange opens. So although we've got a reversal pattern here, right, we've got a first bearish candle, we've got a lower wick, we've got a lower wick, we've got this wick being taken. New York's open in 25 minutes, so I'm not interested in taking any trades, right? Because of the volume that's gone into the buys this morning, I'd be reluctant to trade this on the 30-minute, and I'd be a lot happier trading a reversal on the 1-hour time frame, right? So what I'd wait then for is a closure, obviously, and a wick to the low side, wait for a wick to come up, and as long as, I'd say, as long as this wick is this would be the 4-hour wick currently if we closed as we are now. this is a 1 hour wick. So I'd say as long as this wick is respected, maybe this one as well, we could potentially take shorts here. Now, the alternative is that this is going to continue up, right? And we may even come up, well, as high as this level here, maybe up as high as this wick here. But what we need to see then is we need to see support start to form, right? So we might get something like that, and then we may get a closure, something like that. And then what I would look for if we're going to go bullish is, and again, it's the wicks and the bodies, follow the wicks and the bodies of the candles. If we create a new high on the wick on the 30 minute and then price moves up, there's a very high chance that we could go up as high as 22.10 maybe, a little bit higher, I don't know, it all depends. Just take it 1 hour or 2 hours if you get into a trade at this point. The alternative is, if I'm going to go short, I would trade this on the 1 hour, and if it goes without you, it goes without you. So again, wait for the bearish closes. So a bearish close, maybe 2 30-minute candles going bearish, and then look for the follow through. And again, you'd be looking to take 1 hour, maybe 2, depends on your stop loss size, and getting out the trade very quick. I'd get out the trade quicker on a short than I would on a long, right? Because if it does start to go long, it's very high chance it can just keep going, because overall price action is bullish. These pullbacks and then this accumulation, if you can see, we tapped into this area, created liquidity, created more liquidity, took liquidity and created more liquidity, and as we come back down, this is why these moves have happened, because they're just taking the orders, taking the orders, taking the orders. So they're taking the short orders, taking the short orders, taking the short orders, taking the short orders from here, and they got not giving anyone time to think, right? They're just blowing through these levels. So I definitely want to close below 21.95 to go short. And again, if we do come down and maybe form some form of structure to the, create support here on the 1 hour, on 30 minute, we can then look to go long. I'll try and keep the room updated for you. When I look to enter, I'll be super focused, making sure I've ticked all my boxes, and maybe like if you wanted an example of going long here, right, you got a break and a close, then it would be like a backside trade. So if you've read the day trading strategy guide, it works on the 30 minute, works on the 1 hour, works on 15 minute. But I think, for me currently, especially, it's more 30 minute entry is superior to the 15 minute entry. So I'd be going and following the wicks and just making sure that it's an extra confirmation. So you may well get a 15 minute confirmation candle after a stop run, but if you was then to move up to the 30 minute time frame and use the 30 minute entry instead of the 15 minute entry using the Garden box, then I think you're going to get better, more consistent wins. So yeah, that's my plan for this afternoon. Patience now for the next couple of hours. If I get a trade, great. If I don't get a trade, then well, we move on to tomorrow. Right, let me know if you've got any questions, guys. See you in a minute.